who will leave first? Curry, KD, Draymond, or Clay? Who's the guy they're going to lose? Or are they going to be able to keep this group together, like personality-wise?
I don't know Capology.
Was Clay going to want his own team? Is Draymond going to want to break out, getting into their psychology?
I don't know why you would. If you're getting paid, and unless you get to the point where you say, I'm tired of being the bullseye here, and no matter what we do, it's not going to be good enough. Or I'd like to get a little more credit. And that's where it starts to crack at the foundation. Kyrie Irving could have stayed in Cleveland. James Harden could have stayed in Oklahoma City. Yes,
I think you're 100% right. The credit thing is going to be a big issue in the next couple of years if they keep playing this way and winning like this.
Yep.
But they're all making pretty good money. I feel like Andrew brought this up before the show about, how much is $5 million worth to a guy that makes $20 million a year?
I think it's ego, too, of what you get paid. I think Kevin Durant probably feels like he's the best player in the game. Without saying it, but he sort of said it in a subtle way that, hey, it's easier to stand out on a team that's not good as it is. It's tougher. Like he was telling you, it's tougher for me to stand out on this great team. I think he'd like to post a number and just say, I'm a $40 million a year guy.
And that's on Steph's team.
Yes.
Right. That's his team.
Yeah.
That's never going to be Kevin Durant's team because that's Steph Curry's team.
Yeah, Paul.
I don't think Clay will be there in 2 years. He has one more year left on his contract, making $18 million, and he's the third option and probably the third guy you pay. They may not have the dollars to pay him. He's never gotten that monster deal. He's gotten a really nice deal, but he never got the monster deal, and they're going to have two people ahead of him.
Yeah, Fritzy.
And what's that magic number as far as less that you take that could affect the roster where you're not going to win all these championships? First 2 years, he's got 2 championships with the team, but at some point, the more you take, it's going to affect who you can keep, and that's going to, decrease the chances of continuing to win these titles.
And the only parallel I have to this is when I was at ESPN and at the height of ESPN, we were on a great team. You were not getting paid commensurate to what we were doing. SportsCenter was making $400 million a year, and Keith and I were the focal point of SportsCenter. And what we were getting paid certainly didn't fall in line with what ESPN was making on SportsCenter. We could have left to have gone and made more money, but then we're out of what I considered to be a dominant team because we were must-see TV. SportsCenter was changing, how we viewed sports, changing sportscasting. And I chose to stay there. I still wanted to be part of that great team. And maybe I didn't have the confidence to go out on my own that I could stand out on my own. Eventually I did that. But, at the time, I wanted to stay with a great team. And everybody was getting credit then. There are people who probably got more credit than they deserved. Yes,
When you look, like Klay Thompson's been saying all the right things, like I get paid a bunch of money and we're winning a bunch of rings, like this is awesome. And there's no pressure. But when you look, sort of what Paulie was just saying, his career salary so far is what Steph Curry makes a year.
His career.
He's made about this has him at $42 million, and next year Steph jumps up to right about 40. And he was at 35 this year.
Yeah, McLovin.
There was a moment after the title where Doris Burke said to Clay, I know you don't want to be up here doing an interview, but I'm going to ask you a question anyway. Is maybe his personality doesn't want to be in the spotlight that he'd even take less money? I know it makes no sense to take less money. Maybe he wants to be the third wheel so badly that he'd take less money. There's no human like that.
Once again, trying to read into, get as much money as you want. I'm not going to begrudge you for that, but I think you got to be careful in what you ask for. Do you understand your role on a team? Do you understand your place on that team? And are you comfortable on that team? A lot of guys feel like I want to be the man. And once you realize every single night you have to be, Clay can't disappear and get 10 points. He can get 10 points in a finals game, and no one cares if you win. But if you get 10 points and all of a sudden you're bringing down $30 million, oh boy, vultures start to come out then. And that's what people have to understand. When you want to be the man, you better be ready for it. And it's not just the regular season, as James Harden has found out. It's the postseason. Can you be the man every single night? Because they're coming at you. I don't know if Klay Thompson's wired that way. He's a guy who doesn't get his shot. He's helped to get his shot. and he's got the best jumper in basketball. And he's a great defensive player. Is that enough where he's going to go in and be the number one guy on a team?
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.